This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Hi, everybody.
Morning.
Albo dropped by today. We're just a couple of days away from the federal election.
We are.
So
He was
running
in
on
good
fumes.
spirits.
Sean was up and about.
He
too.
was. Sean had, you guys had a little bit of
No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
Lover's tip.
No, it's not. But that's okay. No, he's good. I respect. First of all, number one, I respect him because he's the Prime Minister of Australia.
Sure.
And number two, we get along really well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And you got to challenge him every now and then.
Yeah.
We don't often because we're not that type of show.
We caught up with Sunday Ariang, where Sean also challenged her.
He did, actually. Yeah,
Tried to really nail her down about whether or not she's training, playing, because she's coming off an injury.
Yeah,
You
main
were-
training. I was big on main training.
You were big on main training.
come
She
for the-
gave nothing away.
Did you come for the Inspired Unemployed, the fellas with the new TV show?
Oh, I didn't go for him, but I wanted to get stuck into the Better Beer situation because that's their brand.
Yeah.
But we never got to that. But we got to a lot of things, including having a drink with Gilly in the Greek islands.
Yeah.
Plus, we chat about when you take a wrong turn, inspired by the guy who ended up allegedly trying to evade police, but he ended up on a jetty, which, if you're trying to evade police, is not a great,
Not in a car.
not a great place to do it.
This is Nathan, Nat, and Sean. Let's go! On Nova 937.
Oh, hey, everybody. It's
Hey.
Nathan, Nat and Sean. Ross playing the part of Nathan again.
Hello. We got a big show today.
We
We
have.
are
show.
packing it in.
Yeah.
Packing it in. Sunday, Ariang's going to be joining us through the West Coast Fever. That's a bit of fun.
Well, they're playing the Lightning this weekend. Nat'll be there. We'll give you the opportunity to join her, by the way.
Well, that's right.
The big dogs coming into town today.
Albo, he was in Midland last night. Anthony Albanese, his grand finals on Saturday, right? So
Yeah.
he's coming in around 7 this morning.
Off
That's
to Adelaide
right.
today.
Did you see what the Tiger King, Joe Exotic, the Netflix star, endorsed him?
Why? Why?
Okay, I know why.
How does that help?
He said, so he put up a post saying, make Australia safe, vote Albo kind of thing. And they asked him why he did it. He said he was hoping Albo would ring Trump to get him out of jail.
As if he has any...
That's what he...
Trump wouldn't know his name. He doesn't know where Australia is.
Yeah. Well, and then
Wow.
he said if Albo doesn't do it, he'll hit up the Mexican president. Or
Claudia Scheinbaum.
yeah, to try and help out. Anyway.
Claudia? Really? Oh, because of course you just come from back from Mexico earlier on.
She'd recently been elected, and so everywhere you saw graffiti for
Nah.
pro or against her.
Sean
Yeah.
and I know that.
I'm
We already
very
know.
involved in Mexican politics now.
Wow, I like it. Natalie Locke.
Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
My worst nightmare happened in a news story yesterday,
Okay.
Sean. So a lady called Carletta was at a Mexican restaurant in
Of
America.
course she was. Carletta.
Carletta, having a margarita, just, enjoying her life and just having a great time. And she felt something sort of drop on her head, and she went, oh, that's weird. And then she looked around, and in her glass, in her margarita, was a baby snake. No.
Oh, sorry, it hit her head and then
Yeah, so
fall
it's
into
either, I don't know if it fell out of a tree or if
Yeah.
a bird's dropped it, whatever. And so it bounced off her head into her drink. And there's a picture of this little snake like curled in her margarita glass.
How much do you have to
Off
love?
Wow.
How much
That's
do you
no
have to love?
spicy margarita, Ross.
Yeah. You'd have to really love your margaritas if you want to proceed somehow. Just say you really wanted to keep. How would you proceed?
No, I would
No,
proceed
my
by,
wife would.
by yeeting that thing so far, it would go into your orbit. There's no way. Like, I'll just buy another margarita.
I mean, that's just-
I'd want probably some shots after that.
Yeah.
That's
But they put what are the worms? They put worms in alcohol.
yeah, they're not live snakes.
It's a live snake, mate.
Valid point.
My wife would push through. she literally, we've just come back from being away, and every day she's having a couple of margaritas. She would literally push the snake to the side and just go. No, right.
and give it a
I'll have
smack
another.
to stop it from drinking any of it. No, that's mine. That's get away.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Welcome. We know for at least the next couple of days he's the Prime Minister, and perhaps beyond if the polls are to be believed. You haven't ordered the moving trucks.
Well, we'll wait and see what happens. But elections are tight in Australia. That's the
Yes.
thing. And if you get 52%, then that's big.
That's a big win. Yeah.
Win.
That's true. We are talking small margins.
Although
aren't we?
WA's been a bit different, of course, in the last couple
Yeah.
of state elections.
It's certainly been strong in Labor's perspective. Ross was just asking you a question, Ross.
Yeah. Well, the sleep one or the Joe Exotic one? They're two very different questions.
Either.
Okay, well, you're saying you're not getting much sleep, but I just want to quickly touch on, Joe Exotic, the Netflix star Tiger King, who's endorsing you, and he's come out and said his motivation was because he wants you to call Trump to get him out of his 21-year jail sentence for multiple counts, including a murder-for-hire plot against rival Carol Baskin. Was that strange, having him endorse you?
It was pretty strange when I got the question pretty cold.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, yeah,
Pulling it up
so you
now.
had no idea.
So no context.
No. You address the National Press Club on a day that inflation is down to
Yes.
2.9, the underlying, and the basic inflation rate's 2.4 is held steady, so we're in the band, and you expect all these big economic questions.
Yep.
Did I get any?
No.
No.
Joe Exotic.
Did I get any questions about the United States? One might have thought it might have been about tariffs.
Yes.
No. Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, that is random. Nobody had
is
that
so
on their
random.
bingo
National
card.
Press Club had the big focus on the big issues. But
you won't be
Joe
making that-
Exotic, I did watch the show years ago.
Yeah.
It was on when we were all in lockdown mode.
Yes.
Of course, we got to see more Netflix. than
Yeah,
we
that's
did
true.
at
It
other times.
Captivated everybody, didn't it? That
It
show.
did.
So
It
that would have
did.
been such a weird moment for
I
you
know.
yesterday.
But I must admit, I haven't thought about Joe Exotic for a number of years.
Nobody has.
And wasn't aware of what he was in jail for.
Yeah.
I knew there was
Murder
something there.
There's a lot of charges.
Little
Murder plot was one of them.
So will you be, if you are re-elected, will you be calling the American president to ask him to be pardoned?
I think what I'll be concentrating on with President
more about
Trump
tariffs?
will be more about tariffs
More about
and jobs and
less
the
Tiger
economy.
King, more tariff. Yeah.
Although, Tiger King. Well, it's
So random.
And I was wondering whether he thought, because we got Julian Assange
Yes.
released, basically.
But he knows that he's Australian, right?
Which was a good thing. Well, maybe. I have no idea what Tiger King knows about Australia.
But he has got a mullet, so maybe he's thinking that's
true.
the connection.
He might have seen the earlier photos of me with
That's true.
my mullet
Yeah.
and my earring and all that.
The Marrickville mullet. Well, that's Jeff Fennick, but yeah.
Jeff Fennick's voting Labor.
Yeah.
He's a good
Jeff
man.
Fennick, great Australian, Jeff Fennick. When you come in, I guess we're all thinking, how tired are you? But there's only 2 days to go. This has been 6 weeks. And before then it starts because you want to be able to hit the ground running
on
all
the
the
front
time.
foot.
I hit the ground
How
on
are you?
January
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
And I've been
Yeah.
going full pelt ever since. I'm great. One of the things that I find enthuses me is just the contact with people. So yesterday afternoon in Midland, talking with people who are voting there in either
Still got all your
Hasluck
kidneys?
or Bullwinkle.
Yeah,
it was
Bullwinkle.
good.
You survived?
Yeah, so Bullwinkle is an interesting electorate because it's new, so we don't actually
It is.
know.
So we're running Bullwinkle, of course, is named after a nurse.
Yeah,
we're
Vivian
running a
Bullwinkle.
nurse, Trish
Yes,
Cook.
yes, yeah.
Nothing says WA like a nurse who used to work in offshore oil and gas.
Yeah, sure.
On a platform.
That's ticking all the boxes.
She's a cracker of a candidate.
Yep.
And so it was great to be there supporting her. And supporting Tanya Lawrence is our current member for Hasluck as well. So it was a joint booth yesterday. And today I'll be out after this with my friend Roger Cook and having an event here in Perth. And then we're off.
Off to Adelaide, yeah.
Obviously, we're going to go east rather than west from here. So.
Yeah, that's true. I'm interested, with the pre-polling figures. I voted already. I voted last week, and they're talking in numbers like 4.5, 5 million
Are we still
people.
friends?
Don't worry. They're talking about 4.5 to 5 million people have already voted.
Yep.
Does that, and that's a new phenomenon, really. Does it change the way that you campaign?
Of course it does.
You strategize and structure your campaign.
That's one of the reasons why we got out so early on our commitments. Like we said in Adelaide in November, beginning of November, we'd take 20% off student debt and free TAFE. In December, we did cheaper childcare, 3-day guarantee for childcare and etc. in Brisbane. I did $10,000 apprenticeship support in January, and then we did the big Medicare announcements we did in Launceston in early February. You got to have your announcements out early, and then in the budget in March, of course, we did the tax cuts for every taxpayer, and so it's been rather strange that, I mean, the coalition still haven't released their costings.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And that's two days before the election when 5 million people who've already voted.
I don't understand.
They've been a bit slow. They've stayed in the sheds, mate.
Yeah,
stayed in the sheds.
We're in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
it's
especially
almost
if there's a
time
big
on.
question mark over the cost of their nuclear policy.
Oh, and it's $600 billion.
It's not 600. I know you say that. It's not, mate. You're saying this all the time. It's not. It's not.
It is.
You know it's not. You know it's not.
I know it is.
You know it's not.
Hinkley.
No, it's not. You've been called out on this a lot.
No.
You have been.
Nope.
You have
600.
been, I've seen this a lot.
Hinkley,
in all the debates you've had, which has been 4, you keep saying 600, and you
Because
keep
that's
getting
what the
called
figures
out on
are.
it. It's not the
That's
not
what.
the figure.
How much
So
is it?
where are you getting your figures from, Prime Minister?
Well, Hinkley, for example, in the UK, it's 14 years overdue, late.
Yeah.
It's costing $90 billion. He says he'll have 7, and that's just to build.
Yes.
That's not what you have
run,
to do.
not operating costs.
Not to clean up afterwards as well.
Yeah.
It is the most expensive form of new energy, which is why he's asking taxpayers to pay for it. If it worked, the private sector would be investing. I mean, we have private sector investment in other forms of energy.
Sure.
We were down at Collie, where the coal-fired power plant will close in 2027. There's this massive battery operation there that's going to power 800,000 homes just at that site. And guess what? Taxpayers aren't getting hit with higher taxes to pay for it.
Albo, on the energy thing though, the energy's getting worse. My brother's bill almost doubled the other day because they only came out a couple of weeks ago, I believe. And I've got solar panels, so and a battery at the back, so I'm in a good space
you're a bit
with that.
protected from it, yeah.
But for other people, they aren't. And when you came into government, and I know hard times, so you can say that the coalition, when they were in government, they set us up to failure, or you can say that there was stuff that was going all around the world. But the facts are things have gone up, in particular power. So whether it's nuclear or gas or something else, surely there must be a better mix to make sure that things don't go forward in the rate they are.
But that's why you've got to do something. I mean, 24 out of the 28 coal-fired power stations in Australia announced their closure under the former government.
Yep.
They didn't do anything to have a replacement strategy. They had 23 policies, couldn't land one of them. We've got one policy, which is renewables, backed by gas, backed by batteries, and backed by hydro. That's the policy going forward, that business have that certainty to invest in. And just as putting a solar panel on your roof makes sense for you, backed by batteries, that's why it makes sense for the economy.
On a grand scale.
As well, on a bigger scale. I'm sure that you care about the environment, but the reason why you've got solar panels and people do that, 4 million households in Australia, is because it reduces their power bills. Now, batteries, one of the things we've done is we'll give a 30% subsidy effectively to encourage that rollout of batteries because there's not enough. And that will help not just the people who have the battery, but by you having a battery and storing that power, so the sun that shines in the day, when you use it at night, what that's doing is taking pressure off the grid as well. So it's reducing everyone's power bills by having less pressure on the grid. So it makes absolute sense. We have a coherent plan. What we can't afford to do is say, stop the world until the 2040s, until these nuclear plants come along. Like, that is just not a sensible thing to do.
I'm looking into solar panels right now, actually, and that's something we want to do as a family. We've got 2 kids.
Yeah, my parents run an entire farm of solar panels.
Yeah, I mean,
solar panels with a backup generator, and their backup generator rarely kicks in.
It's a smart investment. But just gone from that to text messages. Now, I heard Peter Dutton talking. He's not getting these trumpet Clive Palmer text messages. Are you getting these text messages?
No, I'm not.
Oh, why aren't you getting them?
No. Jody is. Yeah,
Is she?
she's got heaps of them.
Who's she voting for?
Can I say, it sounds like it's just a stupid name in the first place.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a deliberate nod.
Well, I absolutely
This is a bloke
but it's
who has
stupid.
too much money.
It's
Let's
stupid.
face it.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Has
Imagine
too
being
much
in that
money.
situation, because
It's just a big ego thing. It's unbelievable. You know, it's been good for the newspapers.
Yeah, it's hard, and it's given
Full
everyone
page,
something to joke about. Like, there's
all
no.
of that.
It's hard to imagine that any of those text messages would convince somebody to change their vote.
I wouldn't have
for
thought
them.
so.
No.
Wouldn't have thought
No.
so. Does he get to
Just
write it off
annoy
as a tax write-off? Is that one of the things that...
How does it work?
No, no, he doesn't. In a word, but it's a shock.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And Prime Minister, before we let you go, I know you're super busy and stuff. That the housing issue is one that hasn't gone away, and I know you're trying to build
Absolutely.
as many houses as possible and get the state governments in each sector to be able to keep up. But it's the supply and demand. More people coming in over the last couple of years, in particular, you know the figures, and we're not building as fast as we like. How are we able to make sure the federal government gets this going in a real positive sense so that we can stop the mad rush of people paying for houses that way over their price?
sure. Well, two things. One is migration's coming down. Figures 31% decrease this year. Inevitably, when the borders opened up, you were going to get a spike. Just like there are more people coming into WA now as well than were before, funnily enough. But we have a 5% deposit to help people get into housing for first home buyers. The other thing that we're doing, though, is concentrating on supply. So the Housing Australia Future Fund is building public housing. There's 28,000 social housing dwellings, including here in the West, that are either under construction or at the last stage of planning. We are also boosting supply by our plan to build 100,000 homes for first home buyers under a scheme that allocates in, say there's we went to, in Adelaide, we went to a site that's an old industrial site, 110 dwellings, townhouses, 40 of which were reserved for first home buyers, 70 just on the open market. But that enables that investment to go ahead because there's that guarantee as well from the government.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of incentives that we need. Here in the West as well, we're working really closely with Roger Cook's government to increase supply. One of the things that the government here is doing really well, the state government, is getting some of the infrastructure in place beforehand. I went up in the electorate of Pearce with Tracy Roberts up there in the north, and building the metro before the houses is just best practice. It
does make sense,
best practice, and then community infrastructure going there as well, so that people will have a real quality of life where they live, and then you can get higher density. People will cop higher density around train stations, because that makes sense. Means less cars are needed as well on the road. You know, it makes cities more livable and more sustainable and more productive.
Absolutely. We like it. Well, we know you're a very busy man.
Absolutely.
You had to leave 3 minutes ago, so thank you so much for joining us the last couple of
good
days.
To be here.
Good luck. We may well be speaking to you early next week. Fingers crossed for you and Jody.
Put in your diary, if we're successful, another trip across to Canberra.
We would love to do that.
Photo's still up on the
mantelpiece.
On the mantelpiece there. You know, I don't know that the other bloke could leave it there. I'm just saying.
I know. I think you might be right about that.
I think you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Good idea.
The Prime Minister
Thanks
for the
so
time
much,
being,
guys.
and we'll know more on Saturday, of course, at the Albanese. Thanks, Albo.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Quiet. Quiet, please. Quiet. It's time for Pet Tales. Nathan, Nat and Sean are positively perfect. And petcircle.com.au hand delivers the next day. Local warehouse, local delivery drivers, helping you pet better.
All right, pet lovers, this one's for you and your four-legged, feathered or even scaly besties.
Thanks to Pet Circle, where your pets gets the best of everything. We're playing Pet Tales and giving you the chance to win yourself $1,000 cash.
Looking for the best pet story based on today's category. We've had some absolute rippers.
We have.
I had to tell the wife about the one where the dog ate the underwear and the couple went
and
to...
exposed an affair.
Yeah, and it was not the wife's underwear.
Yeah. That was yesterday was all-time high.
And who dug a hole? No, what your pet dug a hole? Were somehow great calls as well.
Exactly. Well, today... we wanted to delve into the world of mongrels, Sean.
The mongrel, yeah. For
Good
sure.
old-fashioned
The good old
mongrel.
Aussie mongrel, Nat.
What we're looking for is the most random mongrel combination that your dog is. Have you had a dog that's just an odd combination of two different or more different breeds?
Gee, you hear some funny ones when
I
you're
know.
down the park. Because
Yeah.
you're looking at them and you go, what the hell is that?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's when if anything's got like corgi or, I don't know, it's got the little dogs in it. So it's like a big dog's body with little tiny legs. Makes me laugh so much.
Yeah.
There's a border collie corgi cross that I've seen that is just, and his name is Shorty, and it should be called Shorty because it's just got a border collie body.
Yeah.
But then these tiny little stumpy legs.
Yeah.
It's too cute.
Bali dogs are like that.
Yeah, they
I mean,
are,
they're the
yeah.
ultimate mongrels.
Yes, aren't they?
They are the ultimate mongrels.
All right, we are looking for the most random mongrel combination that you've ever owned.
We're going to start off with Johnny straight away. G'day, Johnny.
Hey, mate, how you doing?
Awesome.
Good, Johnny. Talk to us about your mongrel.
Oh, mate.
Natalie, that sounded very sexual.
Sean, I'm talking about dogs.
Combination of a pug and a Cavalier King Charles.
The Pugalier.
Yeah.
So,
And
what does she
she's
look
got
like?
Long ears, long legs, and just a pug face. It doesn't look right, to be honest.
The pug face on anything doesn't look right. The pug face on a pug doesn't look right, let's be honest.
Yeah, you've got a point.
Yeah. I mean, cute, though, in their own way,
we're
aren't
watching.
they?
Oh, the Pugalier.
Yeah, we're looking at
Yeah,
a photo
we're
of it right
looking
now.
one now. They actually look pretty good.
Yeah, it's got like the...
Yeah, they're not the worst. You should see this one. I'm going to have to get a photo and send it through.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your dog's name?
Luna, actually.
Oh, Luna. That's a
that's a
very
dog
popular
name,
name. That's
yeah.
it's the new Bella for female dogs. All right, Johnny, you hang there. Let's go to Brooke in Kwinana. Good morning, Brooke.
Good morning. How you going?
Great,
Good,
Brooke. Tell us about your mongrel.
So we used to have a corgi cross kelpie.
Yeah.
She's died now.
Yes.
But yeah, and then my mum has also got a frug cross dachshund.
A what? What?
A frug, so a French bulldog cross pug cross dachshund.
That's a
I
lot.
love a frog.
Frog.
Yeah.
Love the name.
Yeah.
I know
So
that's
cute.
down at our dog park for a while there we had a dog who was a fridge. She was a French bulldog crossed with a ridgeback.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Oh, is it better than a frog? I mean, when's the last time you had a frog?
It's a bit personal. Corgi Kelpie though. No, I said that wrong. Corgi Kelpie.
Kelpie.
So still wanted to round things up, I take it.
Yes, she did. So we used to live up north, and we moved to a property where the neighbours had sheep, and she actually got through the fence and unfortunately killed one of the lambs because she was trying to round it up because she still had the kelpie in her. But
Kelpie.
yeah, it was quite funny trying to
But
watch
funny
this.
little short legs on her.
I know.
Yeah.
Not designed for running.
But she still had these, like, really long, flappy ears as well. So,
Yeah, right.
she was, quite cute. But, yeah, unfortunately, she passed away.
Yeah. They don't live forever. It's sad, isn't
No,
it?
that's true.
Thanks so much. Let's go to Jen in Kubelup. Hi, Jen.
Hello, how you going?
All right,
Jen.
Jen, tell us about your mongrel.
So, growing up, I lived next door to a Dachshund cross German Shepherd.
What? I mean, they're both German, so that works on a cultural
tiny
level.
little body, it still sort of had the German Shepherd head size, like the snoot, like long nose, and really long hair.
We're looking at a photo of one. Yeah, it's got the head of one dog and the body of another.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
I mean, there's some questions to be asked about the parentage, isn't there? Like,
Oh,
how from a
Nat.
From a logistical point of view, Sean, how does a Dachshund and a German Shepherd, and you had a German Shepherd, so you're well qualified to answer this.
Okay,
how do they get it on?
Okay, here we go. Caitlin Bassett told me this. When you're laying down, when you're both laying down, you're the same size. Now,
I don't know if you've seen two dogs going at it, but they don't lie down.
Well, I've seen them get stuck because there's two different combinations that don't work, and that doesn't go there because it doesn't go there.
So, I mean, presumably the German Shepherd was the father, right?
Yes, I'm guessing. Because it'd be too high for the...
Otherwise, if the Dachshund was he'd need a ladder.
I know, otherwise the German Shepherd's has really got to bend down. That's taking the dog pose to the next level.
Some of them do have the very sloping hindquarters.
Oh, they do too. Maybe that's it. Maybe we looked at it the wrong way.
The logistics of it, all right.
I mean, you've got to think about these things, Ross.
No, you don't.
You do. You see sometimes some really tall guys walking down the street with really short partners.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you're lying on the bed.
I have a cousin who's in that scenario. He was a basketballer in his day, second cousin of mine, and his wife is very short. And he's like, I'll show you a photo in a second, because it's like, what? Anyway, we digress. So we have to pick a winner. We've got $1,000 cash up for grabs from Pet Circle. I think, yes. I think we're all in agreement that just the mind-blowing logistics of a Dachshund crossed with a German Shepherd is the winner for us. Well done, Jen.
Yay, thank you.
I know, exactly. That's a combination we can get around. $1,000, you enjoy spending that on whatever you like. Treat yourself.
Amazing. That'll be great for my wedding. We'll go towards
good on you.
I think.
When are we getting married, Jen?
In August.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
nice,
good luck,
nice,
Jen.
Nice.
Congratulations.
So not too far away. You're in the home stretch of the organising, yeah?
Yes, thank God.
Now you're just trying to raise cash by winning radio competitions. Well done. Knocked another grand off. We've got another $1,000 up for grabs tomorrow. We'll have a new pet-related category.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
New show premieres tonight, Sean. It's called The List. It stars 2/3 of the inspired unemployed. Someone's not carrying their weight, you know what I mean? Well, Jack and Falcon join us now. Good morning, fellas.
Morning. How are we?
Hello.
Good. Thanks. So can I just quickly say, is the reason you're slightly delayed in coming to talk to us is because you're getting a photo with Maggie Dent, the child expert?
Yeah, she gave us some tips then. And as we just found out, we're like, oh, where do you live? She's like, oh, yeah, I grew up in I'm from Gerringong. And we're like, we live in Gerringong.
Yeah.
Like,
What small town, isn't it?
Yeah,
literally. I grew up in Gerringong my whole life, but we live in Kiama. But it's like 10 minutes away.
Yeah. So weird.
Small world. Small world.
How big is that? And then tell me how big Kiama High School is when you first caught up with each other. What kind of population as well?
Well, I think Kiama's 20,000, I'm saying. I don't even know that.
Yeah. And I think Gerringong's like maybe 5,000.
5 or 10 now. Be getting bigger. But then, so you have like Kiama High would be Gerringong, Kiama, Minamara, where I was from, and Jamberoo. So the 5 closest towns, which are not far and they're not that big, they all go to Kiama High. So, and Falcon was pretty much inbred, if I say, So it's not, you're not inbred, but you're related to every person at school, pretty much.
So my dad is one of 9, and he lives in Gerringong.
Right.
My mum is one of 12, and she lives in Berry, which is like 10 minutes away. So I got a big family.
So he couldn't pervert anyone because they might be your cousin.
They were all cousins. All cousins.
Hey, Falcon, I'm from a big family as well, and constantly I get asked, people say, oh, I met your cousin, and I don't know who that is, because that could be one of just a list of thousands, to be honest. And you just kind of nod your head, and people come up to you and say, oh, yeah, we're cousins, and I just go, oh, yeah, great. I don't even know if that's true or not, but I just go with it.
Honestly, and then even at like Christmas, like on my mum's side, we have to do Christmas like 2 weeks in advance because there's just too many of us. And I'm literally, it's like a festival. I'm walking around like,
did you introduce yourself to someone? That was your cousin?
That was you. You did that, didn't you?
Yeah, I got quite a big family too. My nan's one of 13, and so I got and my same on the other side. So I got cousins everywhere as well. And we had a family reunion not long ago, and I said, "How you going? I'm Jack," and she's like, "Yeah, I know, it's Marnie. I'm your cousin." And I was like, "Oh my god!"
This is how we have such like a big following. It's just literally our cousins, aunties, and uncles. Yeah, obligation. So the only reason we're still kicking.
Is there nothing else to do? in this part of the world.
Just getting it
you know
on.
what I mean?
Creating
There's
humans.
a lot of breeding.
Yeah, they get busy. Busy down
Very
South
busy.
Coast. Yeah.
Once they
No
discovered
TV reception.
surfing, then the population died off. So, guys, let's talk about the list, because this is you guys going around the world doing a lot of things that seem painful. Is
Set
that the premise?
fire to yourself. You've a lot of fighting, nudity. Did you have a favourite memorable?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there was a bit of pain involved. Favourite moment from the trip? Oh, I mean, well, Jack got bashed pretty bad in Malaysia.
Like, see,
Yeah.
that was your favourite bit.
But you
Well,
chose
like-
to, right?
Well,
Thanks for that.
was that with a big group? Was that like a big mosh pit of just
Shirtless
fighting
people.
Yeah.
So it was it's called Silat martial arts. So
Mm-hmm.
it's in Malaysia, and we went there to get initiated into their fighting group, and every year they initiate like 4 or 5 people, and they have this thing called the Royal Rumble. So you do all these like
We got one of them
practice
here.
how to fight, and then the top 5 people that get initiated go into the middle of like a group of like 30 to 50 people, and they got to protect each other, the 5, and the rest just come in and just try and kill you pretty much.
So this is
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Malaysian
really is.
Fight Club is what it is.
Yeah. And they didn't. So our producers were trying to explain to this group of 40 excited,
Yes.
kind of anyway. How old were they? Like 13 to up to like 30.
Yeah.
And they had no idea what was going on. They didn't really speak English, so they were just like, I can't wait to go to school tomorrow and brag that I just bashed someone.
Yeah.
And we could see that in their faces, but
Yes.
we all kind of we're like, oh, I think we're in for a bit more than we've bitten off. We can chew here, and yeah, once it started, I don't reckon.
I don't think I've ever been that frightened in my whole
Same.
life.
Yeah, because you
I've
don't
never been-
strike me as fighters. You strike me as lovers.
And the one rule was no face shots. And
Yes.
I came out with. We'll have to show you. We're going to post a photo tonight on our Instagram. But I had. I was cut open from the top of my head to the bottom of my chin, pretty much, like fully bleeding.
That's
like,
them not hitting your face. Imagine.
And Jack, they're only, I mean, how tall are you? Because those Malaysian kids, I mean, you think you'd be able to take them on individually, obviously, but when there's a swarm
There's
of
a
them.
pack.
all I can say is Falcon was nowhere to be seen.
Save yourself, mate. Save yourself. But yeah, I think it was a flying knee to the head.
No, it's flying kick.
Flying kick.
The guy just ran. The flying dragon.
Yeah.
He just come in and just cracked me. And but you should have seen him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he was absolutely fine.
Yeah, stole his lunch. Stole his lunch.
I got him in the car park later on after the cameras.
You know what's even
turned off.
heavier? He was coming up to me after, and he wasn't even saying sorry. He was bragging about it. He's like, "That was me. That was me." I was like, F- you. Or, the language.
Hey, there's one, and I don't know if this happened in Japan. Is Japan when you went under the water? Where was that exactly? Because I've seen that before, and can you give me the understanding of, is it monks that stand under that unbelievably freezing cold water?
Yeah, that's right.
It's like
you're
a
well
cleansing.
travelled.
It's a
Look at
cleansing
you.
thing.
Yeah. So we trained with these the Yamabushi mountain monks. So you do like this ritual and stuff, and then they stand under this waterfall. It's freezing cold, and it's to like cleanse yourself and get out of your head.
I
And,
don't think people know how hard that thing was falling.
yeah.
So the water,
It doesn't look that bad, but when you're under there, it was
And
pretty
cold?
funny.
How cold?
Yeah, it just felt like bullets, but it was that heavy, and you can't really tell. I mean, we're trying to justify it, but it was hitting that hard. It was hard to even stand under. So that was.
Did you reach a Zen state?
We did.
No, I got told I was going bald from the monk.
That's nice.
And what was the time? Because there's a specific time they try to get you to stay in there, or for the monks anyway.
So they sing like a ritual song, and you just got to stay under the whole time. And it felt like, I don't know, maybe it was like...
Were they dragging it out?
3 to 5 minutes, yeah. I think you was on repeat for a while, this song.
It's like, I've heard this chorus before.
Get me out.
Well, this sounds like the worst Kentucky trip of all time. It's going to be fun for the rest of us to watch. It is called The List. Check it out tonight on Channel 10 at 7:30. Jack Falcon, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Stay safe. Can't wait for season 2. Geez, what are they going to do to you there?
Thanks, guys. If you need security, let us know. We're here.
Yeah. You got our backs. Thanks, guys.
Hey, fellas.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
There's been an update in one of the hot news stories this week. Of course, we all saw the guy who repeatedly, when he was out for a run in Brisbane, broke into somebody's backyard or entered somebody's backyard illegally and went for a swim in their pool. Not just a swim. So he jumped in and had a dip, but then he was doing stretches, like his post-run stretches.
Recovery is important, and it's not the first time he's done it. And I'm big on recovery, you know that, so I'm all about this. But he'd done it multiple times in this person's backyard.
They
They're
had
like,
what footage of him doing, I think, 4 or 5 times.
Yeah,
and it's like, usually on weekends or long weekends when they'd been away, and they're like, this is a bit, it's like he's sussing us out and only going there when he knows we're not there. And so they were rightly concerned about this. Great news, everybody. We found him.
Yep.
We found the guy. He presented, he actually turned himself into the police and said, oh, look, I am that guy. And I think because all his mates were giving him a hard time. He's got an excuse as to why he did it, though. Here it is.
To me, it looked like a show home, like a display home. I didn't think anyone lived there.
I mean, that suggests to me that they keep their house very neat and tidy, for starters. But also, rule of thumb, a display home has a sign out the front that says display home.
yeah, so it's still illegal to be, if it's a display home, to be in the backyard.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, but less of a victim. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's pretty funny. Like, he's been copying it from his mates.
So his
constantly.
mates have been giving him such a hard time. He's just getting constant messages saying, hey, do you want to come around for a swim?
Yeah. And when he was talking to 7 News, he didn't want to tell anyone his full name.
No.
Only wanted to be known as Matt.
Yes.
Who declined to provide his last name or age. But everyone's seen what you look like.
That's how they got you in the first
We know
place.
you're not 75, Matt. But good on you for coming clean. And he said he has reached out to the homeowners because he is genuinely sorry. He didn't want to cause them any alarm or concern. But they had not yet returned his calls.
That's so good.
But it's nice to know that crime's been solved and we can move on to, some slightly less significant crimes, obviously, like murders and stuff.
Yeah.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Stay out. Feel the fever this Suncorp Super Netball season and join the Green Army. Get your West Coast Fever tickets at Ticketek now.
All right, this is so good because you get my company, but also an incredible match. West Coast Fever taking on the Sunshine Coast Lightning this Saturday at RAC Arena. Now, I'm going to be there in a courtside box, so it includes pre-game hospitality. There's a bit of a function beforehand, and courtside drinks as well. And I've got a couple of seats up for grabs right now.
Jeez, it's so good now.
Thank you.
We got Joe and Charlene going head-to-head this morning. Good morning to you, Joe, first of all.
Hi, how you going?
Awesome. Good.
Joe, you love a bit of netball?
Yes, I do. I haven't got my daughter. I've just dropped her at school. I'm like, no,
Go
she's
get
the one
her.
who should be doing this. No, she's already at school. I can't get her.
So I just take them late sometimes when there's important things.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah. What really matters in life? Joe, she's a netball player.
Yep.
So
we like
is-
netball. We like to see them.
First game for netball this Saturday?
Yeah. Well, actually, she's doing it for school. She's got the trials at school for Easter at the moment. So, yeah.
Oh,
she's got it this
okay.
afternoon.
Yep. I know most of the leagues go back this Saturday.
Good luck.
You know, I'm going to go off course, but I'm going to put this in. In netball, you have grading, right?
Yes.
Fantastic. No one complains. People go into their teams. In AFL, they're not allowed to do that.
No, it's
ridiculous.
interesting, isn't it?
Ridiculous.
Sean's 2 bits. All right, the rules for this one before we get to caller number 2. Best of 7 going head to head. We roll our giant dice box in the studio. Questions assigned to each number. Remember, if the number comes up twice, it'll be the same question.
That's right. So pay very close attention to which question has been asked already and what number it was. Our next contestant is Charlene from Les Moody. Good morning, Charlene.
Good morning.
Now, Charlene, are you a big netball fan?
My daughter is, and I'm the same. She's at school. She's always saying so.
It's fine because the questions aren't necessarily about netball.
Oh, good.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's a broad spectrum of questions. If you know the answer, buzz in with your name. Okay, very important. You must buzz in with your name. Get it right, you take the point. You get it wrong, we'll move on to the next question. We're going to kick off. We've rolled up a 6. Sean, question number 6.
Here it is. Which green sauce is often served with sushi?
Charlene. Joe.
Charlene.
Wasabi?
Yes, Charlene is on the board.
Ross, where's the wasabi song?
Doesn't matter. We're moving on. We haven't got all day. We've rolled up a 2. Here is your question. Adam Bant is the federal leader of which political party?
Charlene?
Charlene?
Labour?
No, that'd be a guy called the Prime Minister.
Yeah, that's our voting.
The answer is the Greens. The Greens. Okay, yep. So now we've rolled up a 4.
Question 4. Which green fruit has a fuzzy skin and bright green inside?
Joe?
Is it kiwi fruit?
Yes, it is.
One apiece.
Score check, 1 apiece. All right, we've rolled up a 5. Which streaming platform uses a green logo and plays music? Charlene?
Spotify?
Yes, Charlene. Well done. What have we rolled up, Sean?
Question number 6. Which green sauce is often served with sushi?
Charlene?
Wasabi?
Yes, it is. Okay, Charlene is leading 3-1. That's the brink of victory.
Yeah, 1 to win it.
All right, we've rolled up number 1. Which singer is known for her alter ego, Sasha? Yes, Joe?
Is it Charlie XCX?
No, it's not. Had you let me finish the question, it was her alter ego, Sasha Fierce, and that is Queen Bee Beyonce.
Yep.
All right,
Can't sell out a concert these days, apparently.
What have we got? We've rolled up number 1.
Which singer is known for her alter ego?
Joe?
Beyonce.
Yes, Joe. How did you know that? Amazing.
2-3 to Charlene.
Okay, it's question number 1. Which singer?
Charlene.
Yes, Charlene for the win.
Queen Bee Beyonce.
Yes! Charlene has done it. Charlene, I'm going to be seeing you on Saturday with your daughter, perhaps. You've got 2 box tickets for the West Coast Fever versus Sunshine Coast Lightning this Saturday. We're green. We're in the Green Army now, you and I, Charlene. So I will see you there.
Can't wait. Thank you.
Going to be a ripper. More opportunities to join me tomorrow, or you can always buy tickets to the match from Ticketek.
Unreal, yeah. That's
If you hate winning things.
Yeah, of course. Tick-a-tack.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
If you're watching the news last night, you would have seen it across the day as well. It's doing national...
It's doing the rounds.
Yeah, it's doing the
And
rounds
rightly
nationally.
so.
And so it should do. The man from Bull Creek, he's been arrested over driving... First of all, it was...
Allegedly.
Yeah. He's been arrested this morning, charged, sorry, Nat.
Yes, he has been charged, yeah.
So anyway, allegedly driving erratically, coming down Stirling Highway. He was in a Jeep Cherokee, which looked cool by the way. I just want to put that out. I was like, that's a cool car. Anyway, the cops were like all over him because he's driving erratically and speeding and stuff like that. So a pursuit takes place.
Yes.
He drives, and you can picture this, right? When you're going along Stirling Highway, you know that the church is on one side, Christchurch is on the other, and if you turn down Queens Lee Drive, it heads along the river in Claremont.
Yeah.
Not a lot of things go on there. You drive past Bethesda Hospital now.
Yes, you do.
And you go
It's a
down another
roundabout
couple of
there.
100 metres. Now, this guy was obviously trying to evade the police at this stage, so he's chucked a right, which takes you right
Yeah,
down to
he
the
made a
river
critical
onto the
error.
Claremont Jetty.
Because he drove towards the water. Like that's got to be a dead end, right?
Well, clearly he didn't know the area that well.
I know,
mean,
but you know
he's from
where
Bull Creek, mate.
you know where the river is. You can see it.
And what about Claremont Jetty is definitely a dead end. Definitely
a dead end.
Absolutely.
As he discovered.
So he's driven up Claremont Jetty, tried to turn himself
bit of a
around, and there was a big
standoff. Yeah.
big standoff before he tried to peg the car and just go hard as he could at the cops, and he's just ended up going into the water. Now, they were saying in some of the stories that he just thought he would drive off the jetty into the water.
You don't reckon that's what he did?
No, I think if you look at the footage, he just got crossed up a bit.
Sean has forensically examined the tape.
Yeah, got the wheel spinning
So it
a
looked
little
like-
bit,
yeah,
and it
so-
forced him into the
yeah,
water,
right,
which again was another standoff with police because he was just standing on top of the car for such a long period of
So
time.
where are you going to go?
Then he dived into the water and they
I
tackled
know.
him, right? And then they took him off. The TRG were there and everything. It was a whole big thing.
It was a lot.
In Claremont.
It was a lot. That sort of thing doesn't happen in Claremont.
No,
It's
but you got to
a
think
very
about this
respectable
guy.
area.
I mean, the guys from Bull Creek, you talked about knowing where the river was, Nat, but clearly he took a wrong turn. He's trying to get away from the cops. And when you take a wrong turn, it can put you in a bad situation.
Are you now going to give everybody instruction on how to get away from the cops effectively?
Well, if you want to listen around, of course I will. This is how I do it.
A wrong turn does get you in trouble, though, doesn't it? I love nothing more than the people that you see and they're like, oh, we were just following the
GPS.
The GPS,
Well,
yeah.
there was one, I think it was in China. A guy went over a bridge that was unfinished and dropped about, 5 to 10 metres.
Onto a motorway below it.
Just kept going over the bridge.
Yes.
It wasn't finished. It stopped. It was a cliff of a bridge.
Because
Boom.
the GPS sent him that way.
Down he went.
That's
it
amazing.
was wild.
What about when you're on holiday and you take a wrong turn, you end up in a strip? No, I used that for an excuse once.
Yeah.
Didn't get it. Just what am I doing in here?
How'd that happen,
Once.
Sean? Again. Good to have you back, Sean.
We want to know, have you taken a wrong turn and where did you end up? Talia, hello.
Hi, guys.
Morning.
Talia.
Hi, Talia. What happened when you took a wrong turn?
So we were in Bali and we were in a taxi and we didn't realise that you didn't really need to say JL. Like JL is, the road.
A street,
in Bali.
yeah.
We didn't realise it. Yeah.
Yep.
So we were saying, we need to go to JL Sunset, JL. And he was like, okay, yes. And he took us to the jail.
Karabakan.
Yes. The jail instead of the clothing store that we wanted.
Imagine that's not nearby as well.
No, it was very, very local, and we looked very out of place.
Yeah.
That's a ripper.
Oh, man, that's
a trap for young players, isn't it?
Yeah.
A seasoned Bali goer like you would never fall for that. Sean. But if
mate.
you're a first timer, you don't know.
That's great.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it took me a while to work that out too.
Sean knows the name of the jail as well.
Yeah,
FYI.
Karabakan.
I know there's a book, but Sean really went straight there.
No, but that's because,
Yeah. Oh,
old mate was there.
Old mate was there.
Chappelle.
Oh, yeah.
Chappelle, yeah.
Okay.
Just living it up.
Yeah,
right. Wearing a boogie board, the whole story.
Allegedly. Thanks, Talia. Steph's in Linwood. Hi, Steph.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good, Steph.
Steph, did you take a wrong turn?
I did, yeah. A friend of mine had this really nice dress. I wanted to borrow it, for a night out. So she was like, yeah, you can come pick it up. She gave me her address because she'd just finished building a house with her husband, hadn't been there before, in Piara Waters. So I follow the GPS to her place, and all of a sudden the road starts turning into sand. And I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? This doesn't quite look right. But the GPS was saying, just going straight, it's just up here. I'm thinking maybe they haven't put the road in yet because it was like a new estate. So I just followed and went along all this building sand, and all of a sudden I bogged in the middle of Piara Waters. So I have to call my friend, and I'm like, hey, I'm completely bogged. And she's like, you've just missed my house. She's like, I saw you drive past my house anyway.
And you drove into the sand pit.
I did. I bogged. So her husband had to come and pull me out with his ute.
That's humiliating, isn't it?
Steph, what kind of car were you driving?
Like a Ford Focus.
What are you doing?
That's very boggable.
What are you doing, Steph?
I don't know. I just trusted it. It was like, keep
I know.
going. And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
But, it's telling me to, so okay, I will.
Yeah, you assume that the map knows more than you do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And don't you have a go at her getting bogged? You got bogged in a four-wheel drive on the beach.
four-wheel drive, so it's expected.
Well, that's even worse that you get bogged because it's a four-wheel drive. Yeah. Thanks, Steph. Diana's in Mozzie Park. Morning, Di.
Morning, guys. How you going?
Good, Di. Okay, where did you take a wrong turn and what happened?
Oh, my God. We were, me and my now husband, we were in Vermont on a snowboard trip, trying to show off, and we'll take a rental car, go out and see the snow that you guys don't see here in Perth.
Yes.
And then, with the high car, it had this new fancy sat-nav first-generation thing, and we were, playing with it, put in coordinates to where we were staying, nice, beautiful lodge. And we're, seeing the trees, the forest, the snow. And all of a sudden, I think we were taking a wrong turn because there was no road, because it was looking like snowbanks and people's houses. And I said, I think we should go back to the main, street. We must have gone off the rail somewhere. And then we said, it's probably best because the snowbanks are, up to your doors. So you don't want to run into that.
No.
You're going to go down, someone's laneway and driveway. So we decided to go, look, there's a driveway, we can do a safe U-turn. So we decided to, go and head there. And as we approached the house, and it's like one of those, Hollywood houses that you see, very Americana, then all of a sudden the lights go on, and you're like, that's very strange. They must have a sensor thing, because this is 11, 10 o'clock at night.
Yes.
So it's quite dark and everything, and you really can't see. So all of a sudden the light goes off, but then you can make out the shadow was in the doorway. And all of a sudden it's a dude with a shotgun. Oh! And I'm like, oh, my God! I think we make a U-turn quick smart.
Yeah.
So after that, pretty much, I think he was just hovering off of the doors, and it became very much of a horror nightmare kind of sort of Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
And as far as showing off your beautiful country to an Australian, you didn't do a great job, really. You just you made him learn the realities of gun culture.
Yeah. So it's very real, he said that, and he was driving, driving. So, it's very back to front in the American way. So trying to grab the, reverse on the
Of course.
on the
I couldn't even get out of there quickly. Ty, how frightening.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. How did you manage to score yourself an Australian husband, by the way, Di?
I know. I bumped into him here in Perth about almost 20 years ago.
Oh, cute.
Oh, Nat hasn't found one.
Yeah,
So
you took one that I could have had. How rude.
I know. Colin Aussie, very Southern California surfer guy, too. So.
Oh, right. Oh, nice work.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Ross, you've got an update for us.
Baby Sunrose is the plant my wife didn't want me to vomit on when I was really sick.
It looks that's a succulent.
Yeah.
It does look like succulent.
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah. Well, I'll find out tomorrow if I get the chance to ask the question.
Big question of Charlie Albone
Definitely not
tomorrow.
the vine family.
That's a succulent. It's not a vine. It's not a creeper.
I wasn't looking closely at it.
Well, you nearly were looking very closely at it.
I just need that. I thought, she's coming out to help. Don't vomit on the Baby Sunrose.
Isn't that great?
What did you think? She was going to hold your hair back?
Yeah, it would have been nice.
You're an optimist, that's for sure.
You know what the thing is, Ross? I normally talk about my wife, and I'm hearing your wife. They suck you in as being really nice people all the time, and then you marry
the
them.
old bait and switch, eh?
Yes.
I can't jump on that bandwagon yet, Shawnee, because she listens. I love her very, very much. So.
You do.
Yeah.
Wait till you in it for 15 years, and then you're like,
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.